Pendergast podcast, and today is an absolute honor to have my man Eli Mazer back on the podcast again. We had such a great time on the last show together, but this time we're going to do a much deeper dive into how it all started for him and the whole racing sides, the mental side of the sport, the addictions, and everything in between. So sit back and prepare yourself for this proper mega podcast with my man Eli. Let's go, bro. What is up?
Hey, man. A little more nervous for this one because it's just me. The last time that we had another person that kind of gave me some breathing room, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm tired. But
Kind of ease the tension a little bit, huh?
yeah, I'll get used to it. It's like I can do all this silly shit on camera, but when it's like a live thing, I feel like if I make a mistake, it's like you can't redo anything.
Bro, listen, you got this. We're in this together. We're going to figure it out together, right? Like, no, and we're friends, right? So we're just having this friendly conversation. Forget about it being live.
For
Right?
sure.
Just we're video chatting. So, but yeah. So listen, Eli, dude, we got a lot to talk about. The last time I had you and Jack Dora on, we got a little bit into your guys' story of where it started. But run us through it again, man, and a little bit deeper this time of where it all started with you on those two wheels.
Uh, so at the ripe age of 36, um, I owned a business for like 8 years by that point, and I think I kind of burned myself into the ground, uh, being a workaholic, and that was my entire identity, my entire life. And I remember as a little kid seeing other kids my age in my neighborhood on those little motorized scooters, and I don't know, one day, a couple of years ago, I saw something like that, and I'm like, I've never been on anything two wheels before, a scooter, a motorcycle, nothing like that. And my wife grew up on, basically a farm, and she rode dirt bikes, four wheelers, all of that. So she got to have that kind of childhood. And I'm like, all right, I make money now. I'm an adult. Let me go out. Let me go to it was, I think, Mountain Motorsports. And I'm like, I'm just gonna get me I thought I was gonna get a 50cc, one of those little, you can ride it on the street, but it, like, won't go
Yeah.
more than 40. uh,
Downhill, right?
yeah. So the guy upsold me on a Yamaha X Max 300 with the promise that I can bring it on the highway and go over 100 miles an hour. And
It got you.
well, I was like, maybe I should just get a motorcycle. I had no idea how to operate a clutch. I never drove like a manual transmission car before. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with all that. Maybe this would just be easier to get a fast scooter. So I did, and 2 months in, I'm like, all right, I want to do more with this. And I started reaching out to like scooter clubs, like where are other people in my area in Metro Atlanta that have these things? And for whatever reason, I couldn't find anything. There probably is something, but there was nothing in that niche that gave me that scratch, that itch for camaraderie. So I found a event for a motorcycle practice thing in a parking lot. A few people I still talk to now, but I brought my scooter there, and I asked the founder of this group, I'm like, hey, can I bring my scooter? He's like, yeah, sure, bring it. It's two wheels. And I bring that thing. I see everyone else on, 1000s, and, a lot of naked bikes and street hooligan guys. And I'm like, okay, I need to do this now. So I went, traded the scooter in, got an MT-07, and I mean, that's how I started. And then from there, we'd be here all day if I keep going with this story.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's the beautiful things how everybody gets in the game of two wheels, right? And then at the time when you get into it, you don't realize how much it's going to change your life.
For sure.
110%, right? So it's like you meet the most amazing, beautiful people on the planet, but there's ones everywhere too as well. But we'll get into that later on in the story. So first bike, got the scooter, got the street bike. How did you hear about track days? Like what brought you to the track, Eli?
So the people that I met at that parking lot practice, had their own little street riding groups. And I even went up to like Tail of the Dragon, Cherahalla Skyway with them. I didn't bring the scooter. I brought my MT-07, but a lot of them were like, oh, yeah, if you like this, if you think this is crazy, you got to do a track day, and kind of hyping it up to be this like insane thing that like only the most dedicated people could do. And I'm like, I mean, how much harder could it be? I can ride a motorcycle. I know how to use the clutch. I know how to lean. I'm not like dragging me on the street, but we'd have some fun on those group rides. But there was an event going on at a track day at Atlanta Motorsports Park. It's like October 2023, and uh, I'm like, all right, no better time than now. So I sign up and wearing a fucking orange jersey, and I swear, like my speedometer when I watched the GoPro footage, it was like 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour. One point I thought I was going fast, and on the speedometer said 55. It was embarrassing. Um, but yeah, that was my very first track day experience. And then after that, I decided I need to get an actual track bike. Couple bikes later,
Here
got a
we are.
GSX 8R.
Love it, man. I love it. Yeah, we will definitely talk about the GSX 8R. I got a bunch of friends that actually ride them on the street, and they also race them, whether it's club racing or Moto America too, as well. So they say they're absolutely amazing machines. It's kind of like the newer version of the SV 650, that platform, right? When it come out, it was just bulletproof. It was a fast bike. It does nothing really, really great, but it does everything so well, right? It makes it easy and fun to ride
For
at
sure.
pace, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We got a couple comments in here from my man Jason Griffin. What is up? He says, "Awesome crew.
Oh,
Met Eli at the track like you." Yes, you did, my friend. Um, he says, "Save your life." That's right. Take it to the track, man. 110%. Um, so yeah, once you get, yeah, Jason's
he's
absolutely,
awesome. He's a beast.
he's a legend of the sport. He's a great ambassador, and he can show you what actually could be done. No matter who you are, no matter what walk of life you're in, you can do it 100%. We love you, Jason. Keep it up, baby. Let's go. See you at Daytona, my friend. Which I'm super excited about that. He
Uh,
said, "Are you going, Eli?
I'm
You're
not
not."
going to Daytona. I went last
Oh,
year. It was amazing. Um, but I'll have to miss this year. So
that's all right. We'll get you
I've
down
got
there
a
again.
bunch of friends that are actually racing in it. So I'm going to be cheering all of them on. And I figure
Absolutely.
you'll be there too. So
Absolutely, my friend. I can't wait. So, coming off the street, getting to the track, did you ever go back to the street and ride at all, Eli, or was it just
oh,
strictly track for you at that point?
okay. So everybody would tell me like, oh, once you do track, you're going to hate the street. You're not going to go back. You're just going to, you know, sell your street bike or just convert your bike into track mode only. And I always thought those people were like, what are you talking about? Because I still enjoyed street riding even after I did like several track days, and even after I took my race school, I still enjoyed taking my 8R on the street. And I at the time I sold my car because I never drove it. I would I think I rode my 8R to Road Atlanta for a track day in my leather suit. My friends were already there with like a tent set up. I'm like, all I need is my bike and my gear. But no, I never felt like I lost the um, what's the word?
The urge to ride on the street?
Yeah, like I still did that just as
Yeah.
much, like more, because track days, what you do it once a month, if that, sometimes a little more, but it's like you don't get that daily dopamine fix from track days other than like, social media and talking about it. But street riding is what really, really opened the door for me, and actually is what led me to meeting a lot of the friends that I have today that, now do track days, and some of them even race. So um, it wasn't until my accident in October of 2024 that my street days were behind me, and I had to throw in the towel.
Yeah, yeah. So speaking about accidents, man, everybody has them. I've had several on the street. Not gonna lie, right? Broke bones. It's what happens when you ride like that on the street. So tell us your experience of your accident, and how did you come back from it mentally to get back out there on them two wheels? Because some people, it's to me, it's what makes you or breaks you, right? You got friends, and I've had many friends that get a bike because it's cool and all this, and then they go out and something happens and they end up crashing, and then they don't never ride again. And you got this guy right here that goes out, crashes, picks up his bike when the ambulance comes and arm broke or whatever, right? I'm like, I can't wait to get back out and ride. Let's go. So I'm with you on that. It's I never, even after half season into road racing, I never lost the urge not to ride on the street because I just love motorcycles, right? And
Uh,
to me, you said it. It's finding that fix.
do, I know you were asking me a question, but do you still ride on the street a lot yourself? You said.
I do ride on the street, but not very often, man. Like last year, I rode probably 5 times on the street. It wasn't very far, right? Sometimes I could pick up my son from school on the bike, and all the kids are like, "Oh my God, your dad's so cool! Look at him on the bike," and we come home or whatever. But it's nothing like it used to be because now I feel like every time I throw my leg over the 51 and I come out here on the street, I get to the end of my street, I'm in super defensive mode. Like I got shields all the way around me, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's driving down the street doing this. They don't give a shit about you. They don't care. They'll run your
Yeah.
ass over and keep it on kicking, right? Like nothing ever happened. So yeah, it's I don't do it very often. Not as much as I like to. I ride my son's pit bike out here in the yard way more. So
I get it, and I'm sure it changes. Like I don't have kids, but I know that adds a whole extra layer of um, risk and having a fear in the back of your mind of like one mistake or mistake of somebody else could literally tear apart your entire family. So
yeah,
um, I get that, and I
yeah,
can understand why other people don't ride on the street anymore for that reason. Um,
yeah.
but
It's
anyways,
it's scary to think about it, right? But yeah. Let's yeah. So speaking of your wreck, bro, everybody deals with it mentally in their own way, right? So tell us about yours and how did you deal with it personally?
um, I was. This is the thing. I had a virtual interview with. Uh, how do you say it? Is it Denise? I still don't know how to pronounce it.
I say it day and easy.
Dayanese. Okay, well let's go with that. I was for the Atlanta store that had just opened. I was interviewing for the vacant manager position, and I went in there. I met the general manager. Got in with them. Got an interview set up virtually with their like HR team in Italy. They all had these like really strong Italian accents, and I'm sitting here in my living room with a suit on, or like a button-up shirt and tie. Interviewing for this position, and at the end of the call, they're like, our general manager's at the store right now, so if you want to go they didn't say ride over there, but if you want to go and talk to him and have a little meet and greet, he's there now. He's in town from wherever he lives. He'll only be here till 4 today. So I'm like, all right, I want to show them that I'm committed. So I didn't change out of my suit. I just put on some, I hate to admit this, riding shoes, not boots, but those like, they're sneakers essentially, but they still come
Yeah.
up above your ankle. Threw on my shoes, threw on my, ironically enough, Dayanese jacket and my helmet, all the right gear except for I didn't have gauntlet gloves and boots. Those are the only I had, like street gloves. But a mile from my house, there is it's very hilly, and some of the cross streets, their visibility is so bad that there's like these um, vehicle approaching signs that flash when a car is coming by to help people, like because you can't really see either direction. So I have the right of way. I'm on the street going, the main street going probably, I don't know, 50, 60 miles an hour. The speed limit was 45. So let's just say I was going 50 at the very least. Okay. But my neighborhood was like a quarter mile from where this happened. So I couldn't have gone that fast. So a lady in a Jeep Wrangler is trying to make a left, basically crossing out in front of my lane. And I see her nose sticking out. And I guess, she's looking to the right. And apparently, this vehicle approaching when flashing sign did not light up for my bike because maybe it uses some kind of weight thing. I don't know if there's a scale, but for whatever reason, it did not light up for her. So she didn't even bother looking to her left. I assume she saw me. So I'm just like, all right, I'm going to keep going. I had my fingers over the brakes, and I had to have been about 15 feet away. And her car just pulls directly out into my lane. And I don't even think I applied brake pressure before the point of impact. And I flew about 30 feet or so over her car to the point where I couldn't even see the bike anymore. Somehow I did not land on my head or do anything with like my spine, but my left wrist bone was sticking through the skin. My right ankle, my foot was pointed 180 degrees in the opposite direction. And I'm sitting there like, am I alive? Yeah, I am. And all these people are around me and they're like, hey, dude, I think your ankle's broken. You might want to like chill out. And I'm like, oh, all right, can I just get this helmet off? They're like, no, 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 don't do that. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm suffocating right now. They're like, okay, okay. So somehow with like one hand, they, helped me take it off. My bones poking through my wrist and my ankle. And next thing I know, there's an ambulance there. They bring me into the ambulance. They shoot me up with a bunch of morphine, even though I tell them I'm like 6 years in recovery from opiates, painkillers. And they're like, yeah, you're going to want this. Because I tried like declining it. And they say, you're going to want this. And I said, all right, this doesn't count then. This is a necessity. So next moment, I feel this sense of just warmth go through my whole body. And I'm like, oh, I'm in heaven with no with no awareness of what was going on with my at least two broken bones. And I just remember in that moment, like, holy shit, I need to call my wife. Where's my phone? Oh, my phone's in pieces along with the bike. So I asked the ambulance person if I can call my wife from their phone. And I did. And she starts bawling her eyes out and, oh my God, are you okay? Oh my God, oh my God. Like she thought I was like gonna die. I'm like, babe, it's okay. It's okay. Like I have a couple broken bones, it sounds like, but just meet me at Kenneth Stone Hospital. Love you. And from there, it's a whole long story, but that was the accident, and that was the last time I rode a motorcycle on the street.
Yeah, it makes it when you have an accident like that. I broke my knee on the street, but I still rode on the street, not gonna lie, right? It was like it didn't stop me at all. I felt I don't know, like if it was my time to go, it was my time to go, so be it. Let's just go and have fun, right? That was my mentality, and it was dangerous. So
I won't I won't lie, man. A part of me, this had to have been before the morphine kicked in. Um, I was thinking, how bad is my bike?
you know,
That like I didn't care about my broken bones in that
you know,
moment. I was bike was
how's my bike?
totaled. The front end was completely disconnected from the bike. Um, but for some reason, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, is it salvageable? Because I didn't know in that moment that was the last time I was going to be on the streets on a bike.
Yeah,
And when you go through something like that, and you almost start like going through these phases of grief and like denial is the one of the first ones.
you know,
Um, so I mean that honestly was the easiest part. The hardest part was the next 8 weeks of having nothing. Oh, and I broke my shoulder too, and they misdiagnosed it, thought it was a torn labrum, and it turns out I broke the end of my humerus. So I had I can use my left arm, but I couldn't use my hand at all. Couldn't walk on my right foot, which meant I couldn't walk. I could only like hop on my left foot. and I was using a broken shoulder because that was my only semi-working limb at the time. So I think it was the next 8 weeks of living in a state of just misery and
Yes.
boredom. That was worse than any pain I went
Yeah.
through that day. Other than the day I had the surgery when they put the hardware in, that 8 hours after that nerve blocker wore off, that was probably the worst. And I never want to go through that again. So,
Been
anyways,
there and yeah, been there and done that. Fortunately for me, I haven't broken all those bones in one accident on the track, but I've broken many. I mean, on the street, I've broken many, and it's never fun. The whole recovery process. I say it every time. I don't want to do this no more, right? But as soon as I get home, what's the first thing I do? My ass goes straight out in the garage and sits on the bike and says, I can cut my cast right here and I can make this work. My wife's like, oh, hell no, you ain't. You get your ass back in this house, But that's what we do. It's it also makes you look at things differently too, in a
yes.
way. It makes you appreciate you more because I appreciated me more after several of them. I was like, okay, I'm lucky I'm here, to be honest with you. So yeah. Before we talk about, a question follow up with that is I want to talk about the whole after the crash, how did that translate to you getting back out there on the track? The anxiety that goes with it, maybe some PSTD, maybe suffering from
Yes.
that. Yeah, but you know what I would
PTSD.
say. There you go. Thank you. I want to get to a couple of these comments real quick. We've got Lance Shields. He says, I'm here. What is happening, Lance? We have my man, the paddock. What is up, my man? He says, people don't pay attention like they used to. No, they do not, my friend. Lance also says, it's not the risk, it's the time. LOL. Yeah. The paddock says, and social media changed the outlook on all riders now. I mean, it's absolutely right on that. It's changed the motorcycle game for sure. The way people view it, the way people see it. Lance also says, I used to be out for 6+ hours on my street bike. Can't do that with a toddler. LOL. No, you can't. That's when a lot of my street days really kind of died off, is when I had my son. I sold my track bike, sold my Ducati 1098S to do the adult thing and buy a house and be a man, put my son before everything that I desire, because it's not about me anymore. It's all about Rossi. So that's what I did, and I wouldn't change it for the world, people. I really wouldn't, because being a dad is the greatest thing ever. It really is. We got my man K-Dub in the house. What is up? He says, I left my bat mitzvah to be here. Hi.
Bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
Does he mean bar mitzvah?
No, the bat mitzvah, man. The bat mitzvah. I
Yes.
love it. Then we got my man Jason Bartlett. He says, hey, Eli, sorry we didn't get to talk last weekend.
We did? What you talking about, Jason?
Maybe not long enough, right? Because it's always that. Yes.
I raced out there with his son. That was fun.
Yeah, Owen, dude. Yes, he's so fast too, man. And then we got dude, the legend Darwin himself, a dude from Envy. What is up, Darwin, man? He says, what's up, guys? You, my friend, I can't wait to see you at Daytona. Then we got K-Dub, breaking your humorous ain't no joke. No, it's absolutely
that's a good one.
No joke.
I don't know how I've not heard that one before.
That was funny. The paddock says, glad you made it to tell the story, brother. Yeah, absolutely, because it's not it don't always end too well. Speaking on that, just real quick, you know what? I don't even want to talk about that dark story right now. Trevor Watson, what's up? The legend Trevor, Rev Trev. He says, hey, Chris, looking like a cook at Waffle House with his backwards hat on. You already know it, baby. Let's go. What you need? I'm frying eggs next. Mark Marho, what is up, my man? PSTD. A little penicillin will clear that up. Thanks, bud.
Yes.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. You got jokes, Mark. I love it, dude. Keep them coming. K-Dub says, I know what I meant when I said it. Yeah, we do too, my friend. We do too.
Yeah.
He said bat, not bar. Of course, I said that. He says, not enough. Owen was having a rough weekend. Yeah. Well, Jason,
we all have those.
Yes,
we all do. Have those.
But that's also what makes us stronger.
For absolutely.
Because you learn a lot from them. And then we got Paul McKee. What is up, Paul? Good showing at Tally, bud.
Oh, I think he was out there in a few of my races. I think, unless I'm thinking of a different name, but
He
it was
races.
someone with that last name who was, I believe, faster than me and probably on a smaller bike.
Yeah, it was probably Paul then. Yeah,
Oh, does he ride
probably.
a 400 or something?
Yeah, he rides a 400, a ZX 400
Oh, okay.
Kawasaki. Yeah.
Okay.
So going back to what we were talking about, once you have that major accident, right? Because that's what it is. It tends to either make you either quit and pull away altogether, or you get back out there and continue to do it because you love it. But you also deal with repercussions in doing that, right? Like the anxiety getting back out there, scared shitless that somebody's going to pull out in front of you, even at the track. I was scared around everybody around me. It made me so full of anxiety. I felt so out of my skin. I just wanted to pull off and get in like this little ball, right? But I pushed through it because I loved it and I wanted to do it, right? I didn't want to not do it anymore. But that's one of those fear barriers that comes before you in life, that you either cower behind it or you jump over it and take it full on. You know what I mean? So what was that like for you, Eli?
Are we talking about getting back on the track or?
Yes, getting back on the track after the accident.
Um, so I probably got back on the track before I should have medically, but crash happened in October, and I believe I did a track day with Sport Bike Track Time at uh, Barber in April of 2025 with my friend Hark and a few other people that I regularly go to track days with, and I just remember thinking like, all right, it's going to be rough. I'll just take it easy and just try to get back into the swing of things. And I'd never ridden Barber before that point too, so I had all of that of learning a new track and trying to figure out how to use my right ankle that maybe worked 60%. Um, but I looked at the photos after. Not only was I doing like above 2 minute lap times, which I think that's slow for Barber, but I looked like the stiffest. I looked like a mannequin in those photos. That's how much I was death gripping the bars. And uh, at that time I had PTSD. Even when I was driving a car, if a car would pull out on a side street, even if they're not like encroaching into my lane, I still would like jump. And there were a few moments on the track, particularly if somebody would pass me on the right side, that it actually would create that startle response. Um, I think it took 3 or 4 track weekends before that finally went away. Um, but it was hard. I felt like I was learning how to ride a motorcycle for the first time again.
Yeah, makes sense. Because I mean, I felt the same. It was scary, you know, because everything was unexpected all of a sudden, like unknown, even though you know it, but you don't know it no more, right? It's crazy how the mind works.
And the
Um,
the other the other part of that was like I didn't, because I stopped riding on the street. I never got to like test anything, not even in a parking lot. Um, so that was my first time on 2 wheels on the track, and I was like, I had to learn how to operate a motorcycle with my new robotic body and get used to all of this, all these fast people around me. And I was doing intermediate group. I probably should have gone down to novice, but in fact, I did go down to novice after a session. I'm like, I am not ready for this, and Trevor let me move down. So uh, yeah, that was rough, and I hopefully will never have to go through that ever again.
Hopefully, for
Yes.
sure, and talking about, going through an accident, and, I've openly talked about my past addictions and all the stuff that I dealt with. And, when I had those major wrist surgeries last year, that's one thing I was fucking adamant about. I don't want them. They ended up giving to me anyway. They're like, you're gonna fucking need them, right? So I justified it like you did. Okay, if this is a need, but it still was super scary for me to have to face that all over again, even though it was something they're telling me I need to have, right? So, walk us through your story, man, on
Um,
and how it, dude, because it influences everything. Your approach to life, your mindset, the way you view people, the way you don't realize you're treating your true loved ones like shit in your mind. You don't see it that way, right? Because all you care about is you and your fix at the time, or whatever the case may be. Okay.
yeah. So, um, we talked about this before privately and what we have in common, but if we don't count the accident and having to take medically prescribed painkillers, this April will be 7 years clean for me. So,
Congratulations, my man.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I don't remember what year. It was probably 2014, 2015. I had eye surgery, not LASIK. It's called PRK, and it's a much more invasive and painful version of basically LASIK. Um, but it's more painful after, or at least it was for me. And they gave me, I think, 10 days worth of Percocet, which I did need it for probably the first, I don't know, 3, 4 days. Then after that, I finished off the bottle. Every couple hours I'd take one until I was out. And doctor gave me one refill. And after that, they're like, yeah, you shouldn't need it by now. You should be done with these. And I'm like, please, I'm still in pain. And like I was in a little discomfort, but I didn't need them. So I found a little loophole. Um, I don't know if I should go too much into detail, but basically I could order tramadol, which is a more mild um, painkiller. I figured out how to order them online from a Mexican pharmacy because you can buy them over the counter there. So I had hundreds of pills of tramadol mailed to my house just to give me that fix that I was wanting, that I had gotten used to for a couple of weeks. And from there, it destroyed my life. Led to a divorce with my wife at the time. She was actually taking him with me, like recreationally, but I don't think she had a problem like I did. But it got so bad to the point that ended in a divorce. I moved out. I had recently bought a business in another state, which I still own, and it's like I had to find myself again. And I found a doctor that specializes in addiction treatment, and they put me on what's called Suboxone. So if you've heard of methadone, it's kind of the same idea. So it helps with your cravings, and it technically is an opiate, but it has like a 3-day half life, so you don't go through the same withdrawal. But I tried many times to get off of it, despite having like hundreds of pills of tramadol. I tried so many times, and the withdrawal was so bad. And I got on Suboxone, and that was the only thing that helped me get off of it. And I still take a small dose, once a day. But of all the things I tried, AA, NA, that was the only thing that was able to get me off of the call it hard stuff. So how does this all tie into motorcycles? Well, I feel like for me and maybe a lot of other people, this is an outlet. This is a source of dopamine that fulfills a part of our identity. And when we don't get it in other areas of life, a lot of people will seek out distractions or booze or pot, whatever, anything that takes their mind off of their own feelings and their own vulnerabilities. And I think that's what taught me. That's what opened my eyes to feeling just feeling my own feelings and letting the world know that it's okay to not be okay. That's what my wife always says, is it's okay to not be okay.
100%.
But I don't know how much more I should go into that, but because it's a pretty dark story.
No, yeah, dude, you're good, man. It's me in particular, real quick, before we move on, is dude, I was at that point. I was bad too, and I kind of weaned myself off of them. So basically, what I would do is I would just step my doses down and then take one Lortab out and replace it with a Tylenol because it's oblong. It looks just identical. So it's a psychological thing for me. And then I got to the point where I was splitting a 5 and half, cutting it down to this little piece just to get that little something psychologically, right? Until where and then of course, once I just stopped altogether, I went through a week where it was massive hell, right? Like you hear about sweating, fevers, cold, just want to crawl in a ball and die. But dude, I had my wife with me and stuck it out, and here I am, dude. And it's um that's why I openly talk about it now, because man, I hope somebody out there that's listening, you can get through it. If you ever need to talk, just reach out. I'll definitely talk to you. I've been there, been down that road. But yeah, you're right. Motorcycles is that outlet, right? It fills that part of that dopamine we crave. And it's easy accessible. We just go out in the garage and put a helmet on, turn the key on, and boom, down the road we go, right? It's that simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, dude, it's I feel you on that. It's a battle, but congratulations again on your recovery, man. I've been shoot, man, I've been clean all pain pills for Rossi's 13, so I'm going on 16 years.
I'll give you an applause for that.
Straight up. So
congrats, dude. That's amazing.
minus what I had to take for my wrist surgery, and I didn't
Yeah,
even
we're
finish
not
those.
counting that.
Yes. But other than that, yeah, dude, I'm yeah, and there's times, dude, do I miss it? Of course, man. It was fun, right? That's why I was doing it, but it's also a hiding spot for me too, right? There's that double-edged sword, right? But enough about all that. We are going to move forward, and so now, Eli, my man, the paddock said it, social media has done changed everything, right? And I've noticed you kind of changed up your social media a little bit here lately.
Yeah.
So tell us about it.
Um, well, so I'm an admin on Track Day Addicts Facebook group, and not the same thing as, what is it, TDJU? Not the same thing. This is a group that seems to attract a little bit more of a mature demographic. Um, I make posts there, and kind of maybe started developing a little following, and I started making a few, like, silly videos, and then each of those started to get more of a following. And my wife one day was like, "Have you ever thought about being like an influencer?" I'm like, "Oh no, I don't want to do all that." Um, but then I just started like experimenting with different things, and I have not I have not seen anybody else that pokes fun at these little awkward moments. I know we all go through them, but we don't talk about them because we have to show we're a tough guy all the time, or girl. We all go to a track day and we get down to PBs immediately. That's the facade we put out to all our friends. When the reality is we're awkward as fuck, and it takes us, I don't know, some people could probably learn it real fast, but most of us mere mortals go through a lot to learn and get up to pace. And it seemed like people like the relatability aspect of that. So I started making more videos that show the most awkward, embarrassing moments, but honest. Um, so I guess what I've been going for is more like humanizing the side of this sport that people don't see, because I think that's what's going to make other people come out of their shells. And I don't think I'm trying to, like, uh, somebody once thought that I was trying to, like, soften the sport. A few people have commented that, saying you're trying to bring, a different culture. And while maybe I am, I don't think it's a bad thing to show these moments, because I think that's what's going to grow. That's what's going to make other people who feel they don't belong or that they're not good enough, seeing somebody else be honest about those moments, that's going to make them go to the track, or go and try a race that they didn't think they were good enough for. So I think the more of those people we bring, the everybody is going to benefit. So
100%, and you're right on that. Social media, everybody looks like it's this big glorified thing, but we're just humans at the end of the day, and we suck sometimes, right? We make mistakes, and it's good to get it out there on video just to show you how real and human you really are. Instead of this, it's easy to get on social media and portray somebody you're not. We see it all too often, you know.
absolutely.
So to be real is rare nowadays, especially on social media. Trust me, I know. I
Yeah,
know all too well.
yeah, like I think there's some people who might take it too far with, like, oh, I have to, like, always be authentic and show every single moment of my life and air it to the world and just like scream into a void. I think some people can take that too far, but I do think there's a lot of people in this community. Sorry, I got a spam call.
Oh, you're
There's
good.
a lot of people who could probably benefit from knowing that it's safe enough to just be themselves and put down the front, and just show the world that you're human too.
Just be yourself.
It's like, even when I go to track days, it's like people like, oh, what's your PB, and they're just like kind of like making up numbers, and it's like maybe they did it once, maybe, but they they never have it on video.
On
But
ride 5.
yeah, yeah. It's like, what's your PB? I did Barber in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Yeah, that was my PB.
Yeah,
It's my first time here. Yeah.
yeah.
But no one's going to say that. They're going to say, oh, I did a 141. My second session here. Is like, really? Did you? Did you?
Did you really? Let's see it. Show me.
Yeah. So there's this culture of like, I have to one up everybody. And I think it is killing the sport every single day. And we have people in our own sport saying they don't like gatekeepers, but they are gatekeeping and they don't even realize it. I hate to say that, and I'm not going to say anyone's names, but yeah, I think the more we have people that are empower others and encourage people, the more people we are going to have showing up to track days and to races, and it hopefully will get to what it used to be in, what were the glory days? Was it the 90s or the 80s?
The 80s and the 90s, my friend, and the early 2000s for
Early
sure.
2000s. Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to get back to that, even though I wasn't part of the sport then. But uh, yeah, so we'll see what happens with. I don't know what I'm going to do. I recently turned my Facebook page from like regular profile into professional mode, so I have like the little blue check mark near my name. I don't know. I didn't even know what that was before, but apparently that means you're like legit.
I don't
Um,
even know if mine's got a blue check mark. That's how much I don't pay attention. I just post.
yeah, I had
But
to
I'm
pay
professional
twenty two
too,
ninety
whatever
nine a
that
month for
is.
this, but
I didn't have to pay anything. I just one day after I started doing this podcast, I opened up my Facebook and it just looked different. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I was
oh
just, and my friend was like, "Dude, you're a professional." I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm just a nerd." What are you talking about,
yeah,
professional? I ain't professional at nothing. That's hilarious. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I don't even know if mine's got the blue check to it. Whatever, cool. But it is different once you switch to that professional mode
yes. So there's so many more
where you see
buttons
it.
and all these things.
Yeah.
It's like, who are these people? So and so followed you.
Yep.
Like what?
You're like,
But
who are these people?
yeah, like I'm not trying to do anything crazy. Um, but I have some free time on my hands, especially between like races. So if I can inspire other people to come out and do a track day or do a race weekend. Like I had two friends come with me this past weekend and participate in their first race. So I want to give them some props. I made a post about them earlier today, but um, I feel like, yeah, the more human we all are, the more of those moments we're going to have where our friends come in and join us.
Yep. I agree 110%. That's why it's important for those posts you put out. It's different. It connects to real people. A lot of fake people. Fake people don't like real people.
That's for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So the more real you are about yourself, and don't care what people think about you, I don't care what you got on, whatever. I am me, love me or hate me. Oh, people are either going to love you or they're going to hate you, and that's what it is. You just got, for me, you just got to be okay with it because you can't please everybody. I'm a
No,
people pleaser, right? I like to please people, make everybody happy because I'm happy. So I want everybody around me to be happy. But at the end of the day, the hardest part for me is to realize that I can't please everybody, no matter how much I try. You know what I mean?
I can
So you
relate.
just, yeah, I know you can. So we just got to just let them be what they want to be and just keep moving forward and focus on being happy and riding motorcycles and talking about motorcycles and spreading the love and getting everybody to the track, my friend.
For sure. I mean, I feel like we went a little dark on this podcast, so I have no regrets about anything we've talked about. Uh,
Good. You shouldn't.
um, what are there any other more positive things we can
Yeah, I
segue
do.
this into?
Yeah, of course. So one question I do like to ask all my friends is like, how do you prepare for your how do you prepare and manage like anxiety and stuff throughout a race weekend or a track day weekend, right? Because there's people deal with it all the time, but that's something else nobody openly talks about is how they deal with it. So how do you personally deal with it?
Um, I have a short answer and a long answer. I'll give the short one first. Short one is cigarettes.
Okay, I
That's
like it.
something I picked up when I got off of painkillers. You know, a lot of people in AA and NA, they all smoke,
Yeah.
chain smokers, and I picked that up. And I do need to quit at some point. But when I'm at track days or races, like having that hand to mouth movement and the breathing, that is the only thing I've found, at least up until this point, that has kind of like calmed my nerves. So that's the short answer. The long answer is just keeping myself busy, whether it's helping a friend out with their rear stand or checking their tire pressure, or doing something to make someone else's life easier, versus sitting there being in my head anticipating, oh, what's going to happen, how am I going to finish, where am I gridding up, who's going to be next to me, what if this happens. So I think it's, yeah, just keeping myself occupied.
Keeping your mind busy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 110%. It's always easy and still, but before I go out, I still have that little bit of anxiety. It's just natural. It's just like I openly say it before every podcast, dude. I get same anxiety, dude. I get nervous and I pace the house, and the wife knows when I got a podcast can happen in 30 minutes because I don't shut down, but I get in this different kind of mode and mood, kind of sort of speak, where I'm just my palms are sweaty and I'm walking around. My wife's like, dude, what who you got on tonight, right? And I'm like, oh, blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, you've done this like 5 billion times already. Like this is nothing to you. And I was like, I know, but it's the buildup, it's the anticipation, it's all these things, right? And this is part why I love it too, because it's the hype, it's the feeling. But then when I come in the studio, my room, aka my room, and turn on the camera and I sit down and I see my friend sitting across from me, all that shit goes away. All of it instantly, like just vanishes, right? Same thing at the track. As soon as you pull out and that visor goes down, you look over your right or left shoulder pulling out. It's what it is, right? It's all that just disappears and goes away. And then when you come back, it's just it's not even an afterthought. Never even think about it again until the next session or the next rotation around, right? And then it just starts all over again. But it's a beautiful thing. I learned to embrace it.
Yeah.
Right? Embrace it. it's a part of you, what makes you tick too, as well, right? Some people listen to music, some people, I stretch too. I get in and I start stretching, maybe do a couple push-ups, and I'm always like, "You're an idiot," right? And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm just doing me, right? It's yeah, man, for sure. One thing I did want to ask you too, a lot of people, especially when they start out on the track, it's usually a 300 or 400. What made you want to go straight to the twin?
Um, yeah, I thought about getting a Ninja 400, many times. And everybody I've talked to, especially like, veteran racers, will say it's the learning curve is much easier on a 300 or 400 bike. And if you crash, the injuries are less severe. And despite all of that advice, for whatever reason, I was just so comfortable on my, well, MT-07 back then, and then GSX 8R. Like, I still felt that was a pretty entry level class. So it's almost like an in between a 400 and a 600. But it's also not like an SV 650 either. It's like an SV 650 on steroids. So I do think I would have become a faster rider quicker if I started on a 400, but I'm just so used to all that torque and just it's a heavy bike. At least my bike is. Um, so I'm just so used to it. And I don't, some of me regrets not starting on a 400, but I feel like I've gotten enough experience now where I think I can roll with what I've been riding. And I don't know if I'll ever jump up to the 600 class because I'm having fun in what I'm doing now. But yeah.
So there's no 400 in the future for you at all, Eli?
So, okay. Uh, my friends and I, my friend Lance, who we do endurance races together, uh, he has a Ninja 400 because he has a track bike rental business. Let me give them a shout out
Give
here
him a
while we're
shout out.
talking
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
lean machines. So he's got a few, I think he has two Ninja 400s for rentals. And I was supposed to ride it in the endurance race at Barber last year at the GNF. And I actually crashed it uh, 2 weeks before that at a track day on my outlap, embarrassingly enough. I just wasn't used to how light that bike was and how much throttle you have to give it to like stand it back up. My bike will come up from full lean just by like giving a throttle and relaxing your upper body. Like on a Ninja 400, like, you have got to be at full throttle pretty much sooner than on my bike, and I just wasn't used to that. But yeah, I don't know if I would buy one, but I probably would race one in an endurance race.
There you go. You and Lance need to do an endurance race. Let's go, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Dude, I think I've talked to Lance on the phone before, if I'm not mistaken. Sounds familiar.
you're doing a
Lance.
podcast with him in
Yes.
a
Okay.
month.
That's what I thought. Yes. 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 Man, I talked to so many people.
Yeah, I know.
Please don't
Yeah,
get offended, Lance. Please don't. Right? I talked to a lot of people. I can't believe
yeah,
when you said
he,
that. As soon as he popped in, I was like, Lance Shield. I know that name.
yeah.
I yeah.
He was my teammate at Separano Classic, so we rode my 8R. Um, we had like six people on our team. It was a clusterfuck, but it was all of our first time on a doing an endurance race, and we were using my bike. Luckily, nobody crashed it, but yeah.
He
So
said,
we do it.
luckily nobody crashed it.
Yeah, we lost a shifter during the third race, but yeah, nobody binned my bike, which I'm happy about. Um,
It's a good
but
weekend.
but the 8R, it's a great. I still think it's entry level enough for somebody who's new to racing or even track days to get into, and it probably will bail you out if you over slow versus a 400 where you have to keep your roll speeds. Um, but the power band is so forgiving. So I'm obviously biased. I'm gonna toot its horn all day, but
I see that, right? But those roll speeds on that 400 will translate over to
I
that
know.
AR, make you quicker and all that stuff. So yes, there is absolutely benefits to it. 110%. But
What
dude,
did the comments say? I'm sure someone's got something to say here.
no,
No,
not
no one.
not yet on that. We got after let's see, Dean Kettleston come on after Paul and said Jason Bartlett, poor kid, glad he was okay for the most part. Apparently, my boy Owen had a crash this weekend or last weekend. And then we have dude, the legend himself, Philip Chapin. Dude, what is up? Says keep up the fight, fellas. Let's go, man. You already know, my friend. Can't wait to see a Daytona. Then we got Mark Morrow, 16. Yes, dude, it's been a long time, man. Thank you. Christopher says, Eli, bro, preach the realness, brother. Yes, that's right. Let's go. We got K Dub again, says American spirits, baby.
Yo, yes.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Lance
They
said
take
yes.
3 times the amount of time to smoke one as like a Marlboro.
Really?
Because they I don't know, it's like the organic tobacco. It's like a slower burn. Um, so that's part of the reason why I smoke them is because of how long one cigarette lasts.
Like, oh, I don't smoke, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I take your word for it. Lance says it's already on the schedule. Yes, yes, it is, my friend. He says, I was so focused on not sliding your 8R, LOL. I would have felt bad. Yeah, I would have too, crashing my buddy's bike. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry.
Although that would have been fair because I crashed his bike. So had you crashed mine, we would have been even, right?
I mean, hey, you know what? This is what I always tell, dude, it's part of the game we're playing. I can't expect you to do an endurance race with me if you're not pushing it, and it happens, right? Like, it's what we're doing. It sucks, but it is what it is, my friend. You know what I mean? So, you've been doing it, for a little while, and there's always these, let's see, myths and assumptions and all this stuff about racing, and a lot of people believe it before they even get to the track, right? And then once you get there and you show up, you realize that people are absolutely full of shit, right?
Yeah. So what are the myths that you've
Well,
heard?
well, I mean, dude, where do I begin? Some of them are it's on a it's hard to get to a track day for one, because a lot of people, especially now, well, nowadays it's a lot more readily available, but it's still not that talked about unless you know somebody that's either doing it or a friend of a friend that's doing it, right? And then you can ask them questions. It's not something, unfortunate for us, on our any of our local dealerships. You can't go down to any of our local dealerships. You won't see nothing about any precision track days, into track days, VIR, club racing, nothing, right? So how does one find out, right?
Yeah, I get word of mouth and your buddies or
And sometimes that word of mouth is wrong,
right.
right? So
People
it
who've never raced are telling other people what racing is like.
what racing is like, and there's just a lot of I don't want to say negative, but just a lot of talk about our sport that people have no idea what they're talking about. That's never experienced it, right?
So I have this theory. We talked about gatekeeping earlier. Not even just with track days, but if we move on to racing, and it's like so many people, I would guess, have this perception that in order to race, you have to be this like you have to be advanced level at a track day. You've got to be X lap time. You got to whatever be ranked or something. Like they have all these misconceptions when the reality is any like a fucking novice track day person can go and sign themselves up for a wear race. They might get lapped and not do well, but they would still be racing. And my theory is that we don't want the some of the people who race they feel it's like special to them and that they're special because they do it. And I think if word got out that any random average Joe can go and do it, it kind of, maybe in their minds, it takes away from their hard work. Does that make sense?
It does.
And they almost feel they have to protect it. Like, oh, only certain people can do this. And no one's going to admit this. No one's going to say that
They're part of this
openly.
exclusive club that you can't be a
Yes,
part of because you're not as cool as me.
exactly. So a lot of this will come out in more passive ways because I think everybody's very encouraging. They want to help other people because they probably, they were helped whenever they started. So, um, but when you get to talking about club racing, a lot of times that same kind of support is not there, and maybe people who are close friends or the right person, maybe you'll get support, but there just isn't a lot of information out there about club racing, at least here in our country. Um, so I hate that it's like that, and I wish. I'm not saying it's like, oh, everybody who has a motorcycle come and race because that probably wouldn't go well. Um, but I do think there is
We could
room
turn it
for
into a
growth.
TT event. What are you talking
Yeah,
about? It's
yeah,
going to go.
exactly.
It'll be just fine.
Yeah, it's like at Tally last weekend. I mean, there were a few races that had some decent grid sizes, but there's some races like, oh, you go and race, you got a podium because they didn't have enough people,
Yeah.
and that's like, who wants that?
Yeah. That's like
Um,
showing up and getting everybody a trophy just for showing up. I don't want your trophy. I want to earn it.
exactly. So why do we have to protect this perception and limit information to other people who are just as capable as us if they apply themselves? Um,
And it's easily accessible.
I mean, it's as accessible as we want to make it. Um,
It's a fact.
but but
It's a fact.
yeah, I mean, my my good friend went and did his first two races this past weekend on a 600, and he did great. He did not come in last place, so I'm proud of him for that. I came in last place my first race ever, uh, but I would love more experiences like that where my friends will can come out and join me in this amazing sport.
100. Well, dude, all we got to do is keep doing what we're doing, buddy. That's all we got to do is keep doing what we're doing. Put the good word out there, bring people to the track, and open their minds, open their eyes, and free their mind, right? And get on that track rental bike, right?
Track
That
rental,
that
yeah,
Lance has, yeah, right. Get
yeah.
rent you a bike and get to it, right? It's that simple. It really is. I do have just a couple more things that I
Sure.
definitely want to talk about. But Cassidy says 6 dudes on an endurance team with a laughing
Yeah,
emoji.
yeah. We
That-
weren't trying to contend for anything.
we were just
And there
having
was
fun.
a hour and a half red flag in that one race. So a 3 hour race became an hour and a half that we had to share between six people.
Yeah. So it's still fun, right? At the end
It
of the day,
was
we
it was
still have
fun.
fun.
It was fun as hell.
That's all that matters, right? I mean, that's why we're there is to have the most fun we've ever had in our life. We got Mike Hill says we need to pit together at Barber on 14, so I have someone to smoke with. LOL.
There we go.
There you go.
I feel like I'm the
Jess,
only one smoking sometimes at race weekend.
I see a lot of people smoking on race
Oh, okay.
weekends. Jessica, what is up, Jessica? She says word of mouth helps having a loud wife. Yes, it does. Love it. Michael Kephart, what is up, man? He says track riding is lame. Street pools are where it's at. That's
I saw
hilarious.
him this weekend.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. I love him and his wife Shannon. They're absolutely
She
amazing people.
raced. She
I
raced
know.
this weekend.
I met them the first time we met. Me and Jules were actually doing the podcast at the time. Jules was still with me, or I was with Jules because he was actually running it at the time at Texas at Coda, walking through the parking lot. Because usually when I go to a MotoGP event, I make a beeline straight to the tents and buy whatever it is I want to buy, shirts,
Mhm.
hats, whatever it is, and then the rest of the weekend I can enjoy myself. Because if you don't, especially on those Europeans, you're gonna fucking they're not gonna have your size by Saturday. So anyway, I was walking back to put all my stuff back in the car and ran into him. Of course, if you guys missed our episode, he was actually on the podcast, so go back and check it out. And then Shannon says, we need all the people to come out and keep racing alive. Yes, we do. Absolutely, we do. So one thing I do want to talk about before we get into all the personal questions I ask all my first time friends on here, was not technically your first time, but solo first time. Um, Tell us about last weekend, bro, at Tally. How did your last weekend go at Tally?
Oh, it was probably the funnest, most exhilarating race weekend I've had so far. Um, so we'll start at Friday. We did the track day with STT. Um, I was feeling good, no drama, or just normal track day. Saturday, I signed up for two races. The first one uh, was two waves. So we had the lightweight twins, which is what I was in at the front, and then I guess 400s and whatever D and E classes are. Some of them were in the second wave, and Tally is a small track. So this was my first race dealing with lappers, and that added a whole different strategy to the passing game and defending positions, and it was a lot. And I ended up losing a position. I was in second place on the white flag lap, and my friend Kevin passed me going to turn four, and it was clutch, safe. It wasn't too close, but he did it at just the right time where there wasn't enough time for me to repass him.
He was like, "Oh, you bastard!"
I thought about it going into farmhouse, and there was a lapper also there. So we were both like on the inside. And from there, then it was just a drag race to the checkered, and he was already in front of me, but he earned that one. Uh, Second race, lightweight twins super bike. I was leading for 5 laps, and I'm not going to say this person's name, but he made a very shitty, dirty pass, and it was 100% intentional. Um, and I had to go wide over at the skid pad, turn four, and two other people passed me after that because I literally had to pick my bike up to avoid colliding into this idiot. And uh, I came in. I actually came in second in that race because the person who passed me unfortunately crashed. So I got second. This guy got first, and I was fucking pissed. That was the first time that I've ever been like, dive bombing happens. I know that this is part of the risk of the sport, but the way this one was done, it was flagrant and it was intentional. And the person didn't apologize in the pits. In fact, he blamed me for it and said that I took an earlier line than he anticipated. I took an earlier turn in, and this person's very, very first race weekend ever. He was supposed to wear an orange jersey. He took it off and wore his own black hoodie so that he can blend in. So I don't want to give this person too much of a spotlight. They are very fast, and they challenged me this weekend, but they also almost put me in the hospital. And I don't think that's what this sport is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Um, Mark Morrow was there. He saw it.
Yeah,
Um,
I quite often talk about egos and leaving them at the door, and especially if it's your even if it's your sixth or seventh time, because you're still inexperienced. Let's just be honest, right? You kind of got the gist of the ways, but it's still not. How do I want to say this? Repetitious, where it's muscle memory, right? Um, so it's I've had them too, man. I had one guy just straight clean me out, and it was his second day ever. And yeah, I was absolutely livid. But at the same time, it's like, you know, this is the game we play, and this is our sport. And he was out there too, and people make mistakes. So
yeah.
I've
We
never
all make
cold
mistakes.
clock cleaned somebody out like that before, right? I've
Yeah.
I've I've went in too hot trying to make a pass and went up on the inside and ended up pushing them out to where they crashed and bumped them. But of course, as soon as we went back in, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I went in way too hot. Like I was just my ambition outweighed my talent, as Casey Stoner would say, right? So it was but again, that's part of you learning yourself too and progressing, right? But you got to have smarts about you too at the same time. Shoot, even professional racers make dumb rookie mistakes sometimes. Look at Alicia Spargo when he's going to win the freaking MotoGP race and thought it was the last lap, and it was the second to the last lap.
For
That's not
sure.
the same. That's not the same. Eli's taking somebody out intentionally. I know, but I'm
Yeah,
just,
no.
you
I was
know,
gonna say that in a way, the incident actually brought out a side to me that I've been suppressing. Um, so the happy ending to the story is on Sunday, I ended up beating this person. He tried making a few other dirty passes, not as flagrant as Saturday, but he tried it again. And we had a little passing battle back and forth. And he was in front of me on lap 7. He checked up for a lapper in Farmhouse, and I just went around both of them, and I never saw him after that. So I won that race, which was my first win with Wera. And of
congratulations.
course, he tried acting like he had good sportsmanship after that, but still has yet to apologize for almost putting us in the hospital on purpose.
Yeah,
Um, but like you said, mistakes happen, and usually we go up to the person
and
after
I
and say, "My
apologize.
bad.
Yeah,
It's racing. Sorry." Um, but egos, I don't think belong in this sport, and I think are part of the reason that we have these small grids. And I think the less egos we have and the more people being honest and vulnerable, the more we're going to have great race weekends with lots of people and full grids where you actually have to earn a podium.
not a trophy giving people.
Right.
No, that's not. It's not cool. We got Jason Doss says, "What's up? Holla! I can't wait to get on the bike in March. Let's go! I can't wait, Jason. He got a new R9, so
Oh, heck yeah.
yeah, dude. Let's go, Jason. I can't wait to see you at VIR, my friend." Doss says, "You guys coming to RRR? No, I'll be going to Daytona here in next freaking weekend,
I'll be
bro.
at Roebling in March.
There you go. Right, so you'll see Eli there." Jason says, "We need to put his name on PM us, so we need to know about this guy." Well,
Oh,
private
the
message. Yeah.
race control already knows about him.
Mark says, "It's all about accountability. Everyone makes mistakes. Just own it and apologize." Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I felt like a total piece of shit when I did it, and because it was absolutely my fault. I just thought that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna break way past this mark. One, two. Oh shit! I'm not gonna make it. Right. So it happens. Didn't do it again. I'll tell you that. Didn't do it again. Um, Jason Doss says, "I plowed a guy at CMP. He stopped on the track. I woke up. I was in the ICU." Yeah, that
Damn.
happens too, buddy. Jason Bartlett says, "I saw it from the bleacher. It was shitty without a doubt. I was cheering you on."
Thank you.
There you go, my man. And Paul says, "You're right. That's all needed is acknowledgement, apology. It's simple, right? That's it. I'm done with it." Mark says, how did it go Sunday?
Well, Sunday I won. That was the happy ending. I don't know if he typed that before I told that story.
Yeah, he probably did. I had to scroll down to see it, but I had to ask it anyway, right?
Oh
So
yeah, Sunday I only did one race, um, and I did a 106, which was my personal best at Tally, and the track was freezing. It was 40 degrees out, and people had to put like freaking comforters on their tire warmers because the tires weren't heating up. That's how windy it was.
wow.
Um, but it was a great weekend, and my good friends got to go and race. One of my other friends who did the race school, he ended up winning C Superstock on Sunday. So really proud of him, Noah Foster. Um,
Congrats, Noah Foster.
yeah, yeah, he bought
Love
an
it.
NV suit last month. So
Congratulations, my
yeah,
friend. I love it.
um,
Jason says, I'm racing twins too. See you at RRR.
What I wonder what bike he's on.
Probably the R7.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. All right.
Am I right about that, Jason? You still got your R7, right? Because when I first met Jason, has it been 2 years already, Jason? I'm pretty sure it has. At the time, we were obviously friends on Facebook, but we finally got to meet at VIR. Yeah, R7 during. I'm pretty sure it was the Azure race weekend. That weekend. Um, Andrew says, "Awesome to see you on here. Still loving the podcast." Thank you, Andrew, my friend. Appreciate all the love and support, my friend. Jason said, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he was on the R7 at the time. But I remember when he bought his R9, he actually sent me a picture. And then when he had it, I forget what race weekend was it last year that Matty Skoltz actually needed a rear sprocket for his R9. And Jason took it off of his bike and gave it to the team. And that's what Matt used to win the race on and gave it back to Jason sign. And now he's got it on. Have you put it on your wall yet, Jason? Because I would have framed it and straight put it on my wall. Because that's one hell of a story right there, my friend. That's an awesome story. Dude, Eli, listen, bro, this has been a lot of fun, dude. I appreciate you sitting back down with me again, right? Getting you in the hot seat this time, solo, all by yourself. We're going to do this many more times, my friends, so get used to it, okay? But I want to transition into the second part of our podcast where we get to know you. You know, I know we talked about, you know, our darkest stuff ever, pretty much openly. But
Yeah, this was the most depressing podcast ever. My bad.
No, dude, it was not, dude. I love it, dude. Dude, me and my man Jeremy Tubberman had the same thing on Remix Racing because that's what he's about, right? Is the whole mental health and addiction side of talking about it. And dude, you know, it's if we did checks on everybody racing, we are not the only ones that have past addictions. There's probably ones out there right now that either still have past addictions or still have them right now and battling them, right? So, but we're here for every single one of you guys. Noah says, I've been watching on YouTube. Great weekend. Appreciate it, buddy. Jason says, got some lightweight wheels, hoping to get the 15s at RRR. Dude, you'll do it, Jason. First question I have for you, Eli, man, is tell us something we don't know about you, bro.
Dang, I knew there was going to be one of these spontaneous ones that I would like not have an answer for. Shit. Something you don't know. I know I'm getting stage fright here and I can't think of anything. Do you have a backup question?
Yeah. You know what? We'll save that for our next podcast. Dude, what's your dream bike?
All right, that's a better one.
He said that's better. I can answer that one.
I would say if I ever got, so I guess it depends on what class are we talking about. So if we're talking about 600s, probably an R6 that's all, you know, race ready. If we're talking about a 1000, then maybe like a BMW, either the S or the M, one of those kind of bikes. But I don't think I would ever want like a naked bike. So
No,
sport bike only.
dude, naked bikes are cool, man. I'd so rock a KTM 1290 Super Duke R or freaking Street Fighter S Ducati. Yeah, dude, all day, baby. The Aprilia Tuono, let's go, dude. Yes, I would absolutely rock it. 100%. It's super bike chassis. Dude, it's a super bike with just bars sitting up like this, right? It's when you get younger in life and your lower back starts to hurt, dude, you'll appreciate that. Trust me. You're not there yet, Eli, but you will be, my friend.
Oh, I feel like I'm there sometimes. But what is your dream bike? How about I put that back on you?
Man, dude, I love it when my friends ask me questions, dude. That's to me, that's a tricky question because I got so many, man. Dude, one of my dream bikes, straight up off the top of my head, is a 1996 ZX7 Double R with the flat side carburetors with the adjustable swing arm pivot tube. What a beautiful machine! Original 916, the Desmo Sedici, dude. I mean, the list goes on and on for me. But old school, yeah, I would love to have like an original OW01 original 1999 R7. I'd like to have an SB2, but the real race version SB2 that was customer bought, that was like $125,000 back in the day. I'd love to have one of those. Dude, I if I could have every dream bike I'd have, I'd be divorced for one. Um, right? Like, yeah, dude, a lot. But Muzzy Raptor, um, yeah, a shit ton, right? The old RSV Melee, the R version. Yeah, man. Um, Let me ask you this, man. Obviously, everybody knows I listen to audiobooks. I'm currently still listening to The Art of Racing in the Rain. I'm going to finish that book on my journey to Daytona because I got a 10-hour drive, right? So why not finish the book during that drive? Um, do you listen to any audiobooks or read yourself?
I buy them and then I'll listen to like a few pages and then never do it again because I'm just so ADD, and like I'll read things on social media, but for whatever reason I can't do audiobooks. But I'll do podcasts, so I do listen to Ken Hill a lot.
Big shout out to Ken.
Or I'll watch your podcast. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
Um,
but yeah, I don't read books, even though I should.
I was gonna say shop manuals don't count, right? Because that just
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
along with the territory of motorcycles. I had a buddy of mine say, I read shop manuals. I'm like, dude, that don't count, bro. Like, if you own a motorcycle, you better have a shop manual for it. You better read it, right? Like, that goes hand in hand. Mark Morris says, 21 years myself. Congratulations, my friend. So I do have a question for you, and it's from Andrew. He says, ask him what is his biggest mechanical misconception about racing.
Mechanical misconception. I wonder what he means by that. Like,
I don't know.
um, I would guess maybe. I mean, I made a video about how to pass tech at a race weekend, and I'll be honest, before someone else taught me everything I needed to do, I thought you had to like do all these fancy things to your bike and like take it apart and like I thought it was this whole intricate process. I didn't know it was just drilling a few holes and safety wiring it and you're done.
Yep.
Taking the kickstand off,
Yep.
unless he's referring to something else.
Or zip tying it up. I've seen people zip
Or
or
that.
safety wire their kickstands up. Yeah.
Although apparently, if you don't have everything safety wired, like I didn't have my pinch bolts, and it's funny because I never been uh, called out for not having my front axle pinch bolt safety wired until this weekend. They got me on it, but they said, "Oh, do you have any? What? It's like a silicone paste. There's like a 3-letter name for it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I forget the name of it though.
RGV, something like that." But he was like, "Oh, you can just put some of that on, and then you don't have to safety wire it."
Might
So
as well just use Loctite, right? I mean, what are you talking about? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Hubba
so
Bubba.
I was able
Big
to
League
get by.
Chew, right? We can get you do some Big League Chew and put it in there, throw it
Big
in
League Chew, yeah.
there. we got it.
So apparently, if you miss something, they'll usually let you get away with just putting silicone on it for that race weekend.
Everybody's commenting RTV.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. What did I say? RGV?
Yeah. That's the Suzuki 252 stroke right there, right? And they
No.
made a 500. I love it, man. I love it. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Dude, how are you with do you cook at home? I'm a big cook, dude. I love to cook, right?
What do you cook?
Dude, I cook, dude, you name it, I cook it. Like my wife, she'll go on TikTok and she'll find a recipe or Instagram or whatever. And I got phone messages from her, just recipes. And usually once a weekend, I'd be like, hey, pick a recipe you want me to make. And I'll go out and make it. But I cook everything. I'm getting ready to make some homemade chicken noodle soup. I'm going to start it tonight so I can finish it off tomorrow when I get home from work and eat it because I have no podcast tomorrow. So, but I do everything, dude. You name it: Greek food, Italian food, Thai food. I cook. And
Um,
what I mean by cooking is you can't buy a freaking microwave TV dinner and stick it in the microwave or a French bread pizza in the oven and heat it up and say you cook. You can't take French fries, dump in the air fryer, and say you made French fries. No, you got to
that's
get the potatoes, peel them, slice them, then you made some French fries, right? Like there's a difference.
that's my version of cooking is throwing something in the oven or microwave. My wife cooks though.
You just you're just a heater upper.
Yes, I'm a heater upper, and I
You're a
have
heater upper.
no shame about it
No,
at all.
you
I don't
shouldn't.
know. It doesn't do anything for me cooking this whole fancy meal. Like it just, some people, I don't know. It's like it gives them something to do, I guess.
I
But
enjoy it. I just enjoy it. I get it from my mom though, oddly
uh,
enough. Like I never used to like being a cook. Honestly, it really started when I had my son. Then I was interested in learning really how to, cook. So I didn't even want to do that with my wife when we first got together. I was like, I will just go out and eat, no problem, right? And then when I had my son, all that shit changed. I'm like, I'm gonna learn to cook. I'm a cook. So I enjoy it. Cassidy says, Eli, who do you look up to the most as a racer?
that's a good question. I've got a few people. I've got to write some names down because I'm going to forget. So Cassidy is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah.
I've talked about him a little bit on the last one, but he's been a really close friend and one of my personal training clients. Super good guy, and I consider him a very close friend, and uh, he's he had a yellow 8R before he sold it recently and bought I don't know if he's announced it yet, but he's going to be in a new class next year in Moto America. So really excited for him, and I'll be helping him in the pits for one weekend at Barber.
Which
Mark
I'll be
Morrow,
there.
you'll be at Barber?
Yeah, it'll be my first time going to barber this year.
Really?
Yep.
Um, so Mark Morrow, he was there with me last weekend. He's been there for me the entire time. He's seen me at my lowest, and um, I think if I started to name more names, I'm gonna upset somebody for leaving them out. So we'll stop there at Cassidy and Mark Morrow and Chris Simcoe.
Thank you, my friend. It's an honor, dude. It really is. Cassie's an absolute legend. I met him several times. Me and him still got to sit down and work out our day and time to where I get him in the hot seat on the podcast. And of course, Mark Morrow, dude, absolute legend. Had the honor to finally meet him and his wife. It's nothing but hugs and laughs and smiles, and can't wait to see them all again for sure. 100, and you too as well, Eli. Which hopefully you'll make it out to VIR this year, and
I will be at VIR.
good. So that means we'll hang out. We'll do some videos and stuff like that. I'm just gonna do one more question because we're an hour and 30 into this.
Yeah.
And then I'll save the rest for next time. Bro, what's the one superpower you wish you had? Mine would be teleportation. And I thought about my answer when I first started asking this question. It's changed. But it's been consistent since I've changed it. It used to be flying like Superman, but now it's teleportation because I could have been like, Eli, dude, just I'll be at your house sitting on the couch with you. We'll do the podcast in your living room or your garage. Boom. There I am. I'm there. And they're like, I'm going home. Boom. Right. And now I'm back at home. So that's
Dang.
my superpower.
That was the first thing I was gonna say was flying. So if that was your old one, I'll
That was
take
my
that
old,
one.
yeah, that
Because
was
you
my
can
old
essentially fly. It depends on how fast you can fly. If we're talking like light speeds, and you could, that's almost the same as
teleportation.
teleportation.
100%.
So that's my answer is flying at light speed.
Love it, man. Superman in the making. Let's go. I love it, man. Well, listen, bro, this has been an absolutely proper mega podcast. This episode will be out later on this evening. I'll upload it once I get out the shower. Before I let you in the podcast, I just got to give out a couple of my shout outs. First thing I want to say is I always say is thank you to each and every single one of you. Thank you to Eli. Thank you for all my guests and friends that's been on in the past. Thank you for everybody that's coming on in the future, even though you don't know it yet, right? Without each and every single one of you, I would not be here in this seat doing these. And it's because of you is the reason why I'm here. And I love each and every single one of you. And I absolutely mean it. Thank you so much. Thank you continually for all the love and support. You just don't I get emotional when I talk about it sometimes because it just means so much, but just thank you. Anyway, big shout out to K-Tech Suspension, SFL Mini GP, South Florida and in Jersey. It's the best program we have in America, and that's where most of our future legends of the sport is coming out of. We got AV Dreyer, Ella Dreyer, Alessandro DeMario. I mean, Brandon Posh, the list goes on and on and on. So if you want to get out there and learn to ride, or you want to get your kid into riding or racing, or you yourself want to go out there and get on the track, look no further. They have a no BS program. What I mean by that is basically you just register and sign up. All you do is show up. They provide everything: the boots, the helmets, the gloves, the leathers, the bikes, everything. You don't need anything but you there. So sign up, go out there, have fun. Second one is I got two friends that make the best undersuits in the business. You're not going to go wrong by ordering from either one of them. The first one is my man Tate at 64 Degree Racing. The second one is my girl Mama Aliki at venomsport.com. And any of my friends racing out there in California, get up with my man Ant Lee Terry and his Racer 411 program and mentorship program. It's absolutely amazing what they're doing out there. All my friends out there in the UK, big shout out to my sponsor, theclothingkings.co.uk. You guys can go to that website and order all your Pin to Gas podcast merch. Everybody's always asking me about my soft shell jacket I have right here all the time, and my beanie hats. That's where I order mine from, is that website right there. I got three friends also in the business that make graphic kits, whether you want your bike wrapped, your helmet wrapped, your dog wrapped, your wife wrapped, your kid wrapped. It don't matter, right? Any of them. Look no further than Dripping Wet, my man Chris Crizel, my man Reese Brody at REB Graphics, and my man Gus Rodeo at GRG Designs. Big shout out to Chef Eats. He makes all those proper amazing meals fast on the go, whether you're at the track or at home. He can cater them to however style you like them to. Big shout out to my Vet2 Track, my man Jim Whitman. So all my veterans out there, if you want to get involved in riding and be around like-minded people in that brotherhood again, look no further than Vet2 Track. It's an amazing program. Big shout out to Superbike Supply. And if you know anybody, or you yourselves out there and been unfortunate and had an accident, right, and you unfortunately missing a limb or a leg, you can get out there and still ride, and you can absolutely get out there and still race, right? What I need you to do is go to tbexusaexperience.org. Mike has the most amazing program out there. I got a lot of friends that go out there and race with him. My man Jason Griffin, that was in here message earlier, dude. One arm, absolute legend on two wheels. He is so fast. But the last thing I'm going to say before I leave the floor for Eli to give all the shout outs and sponsorships. And
No,
all
I
that
was
is,
just going to do one.
No, you're fine. But dude, I can't wait to see all my friends out there in Daytona. I'll hope to see everybody there. Me and my man Kenny's going to be doing some live shows. So we're going to be going through the paddock. We're also going to be doing some interviews. We're going to be set up at his RV site with the table and the lights. So please stop by. Jump on the podcast. We'll interview everybody, including the fans too as well. I can't wait to go down there. And one last thing is, if anybody needs anything, keep it in the industry. People don't order that shit off of Walmart and Target and Temu and all that shit. Listen, if you keep it in the industry, you're helping all our friends out that bust their ass trying to make a living. Guess what? In this industry. So keep it in the industry. Thank you, and you're welcome. Eli, the floor is all yours.
Oh no, I got, when I got home last night, I had a big box that looked like it was the shape of a helmet. So my KYT helmet that I'm gonna use at my next race. So I'll give them a shout out since they did hook me up here. And NV Racing, Darwin Rodriguez has been great to me. And everybody else who I've had very positive interactions with in this community. I feel like I went a little dark on this podcast and, shit talk somebody else, which is definitely not me, not how I normally am. But this community has been so amazing, and I've made some of my closest friends through this. So I really appreciate everybody and you.
I appreciate you too, man. And I appreciate you coming on here and open up and being your true self and honest, dude. And you just had stuff to get off your chest, dude. And there's nothing wrong with that. 110%. And by you saying that, I too want to give a shout out to my man Darwin, because when I seen him at the Azure at Daytona, when I was doing commentating with Kenny, he seen me, he's like, "Come here, Simca, I got something for you, dude." So he hooked me up. with a t-shirt. So Darren hooked me up. Thank you so much. It's one of my favorite t-shirts. I freaking absolutely love it, dude. So thank you so much, Darren. Again, can't wait to see you. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor to sit down with my man, Eli Mazer. You guys stay tuned because he'll be on here again. Eli, is there anything you want to say before I end this? And just stay on with me for a brief second after this is over.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right. All right. On that note, he's good. I'm good. You're good. We'll see you guys soon.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.